Dear Patriots, before the news starts, please subscribe to our patriotic channel by clicking the subscribe button. Give us a thumbs up to this video. Don't forget to leave your opinion below in the comments section. Share the news on Facebook and Twitter so you friends see it. Thank you.
Diamond and Silk just leapt to Trump's defense with viral rant that will have every American cheering. The violent events in Charlottesville Saturday that claimed the life of a young woman caught the nation by storm. Conservative YouTube personalities Diamond and Silk got on Fox Sunday to defend the president's response to the tragedy, and to give their own analyses of the events, and they had a lot to say. Diamond said, "Neo-Nazi groups, the KKK, which was created by the Democrats, all of these other groups, they were all spewing hate and they were all creating violence, and all of them should be condemned and denounced. Period." Diamond put out a call to white supremacists, saying if they don't like those of different races, you need to build yourself an island and go over there. The president was widely condemned by the media throughout the weekend for his initial response to the attacks. His initial statement condemned all forms of violence, while many argued he should have called out white supremacist groups by name. This was his statement. "We condemn in the strongest possible terms this egregious display of hatred, bigotry and violence on many sides, on many sides." Diamond came to President Trump's defense on that issue, saying, "The president cannot be one-sided. He has to look at everything that's going on. I didn't like the white nationalists, the KKK, the neo-Nazis, David Duke, but I also didn't like Black Lives Matter and Antifa." Silk concluded the talk with one unifying statement. "We are the United States, not the divided states, and we are one race, and that's the human race. These ladies are so great, and President Trump is blessed to have such lovely, outspoken supporters." YouTube recently demonetized their YouTube channel, along with other conservative personalities. Read more on that here. It's harder and harder for them to get their message out to the public, so let's help them by sharing their message so everyone can see. HT Fox News. Don Lemon just screamed no 9 times so a Republican couldn't talk about Benghazi. It should surprise nobody that hosts on liberal news network street conservatives and others who don't agree with their narrow points of view very poorly. It is also nothing new that leftist media figures are, like all liberals, allergic to facts. What was a bit jarring, however, was when CNN host Don Lemon went so far as to shout the word no 9 times so that Trump-supporting conservative guest Ben Ferguson could not keep talking about Hillary Clinton's Benghazi scandal. The exchange began with Lemon saying at the end of a segment, "I've got to get Ben in. Go ahead, Ben." This was as though he were doing the Republican a favor. Said Ferguson, "There are a lot of people that feel like that there was special treatment that was given to people that worked for Barack Obama, and things that they did that they would have been indicted for if they were Republicans." He continued, "For example, when you clearly have top secret information on a laptop that you have on a server in the basement of your house, and then you send those top secret classified documents to people that aren't even cleared to see them, and then you forward them to your husband, who by the way is in jail by the name of Anthony Weiner. If that was a Republican, they would have been indicted." At this point, Lemon began screaming, "No." Ben tried to keep talking, saying, "Let me finish. I hate when you, this is what you do every time. This is what you do every single time. Let me finish. Let me finish my point." Don didn't let him finish, and kept shouting, "No." Ben added, "No, it's not. It's water under the bridge for you, Don. It's water under the bridge for you. It's not for the rest of the people in this country." When Don screamed no for the 9th time, he then said, "We'll be right back," and cut to commercial. Is this an all-time CNN low? James Woods demolishes Liz Warren with amazing burn after she claims "I believe in science." A wide swath of the country, particularly east of the Mississippi River, has faced the coldest temperatures on record for this time of year. In the Boston area, for example, the temperature on Friday dipped down to a single degree Fahrenheit. Given these incredibly low temperatures, President Trump used some common sense and tweeted about it, saying, "In the East, it could be the coldest New Year's Eve on record. Perhaps we could use a little bit of that good old global warming that our country, but not other countries, was going to pay trillions of dollars to protect against. Bundle up." Of course, this made knee-jerk liberal global warming believers go up in arms. Predictably, one of these people was Democratic Massachusetts Senator Elizabeth Warren, who tweeted back at Trump, "I'm going to say something really crazy. I believe in science. Climate change is real and we have a moral obligation to protect this earth for our children and grandchildren." Thankfully, conservative actor James Woods was quick to come to the president's defense and poke a huge hole in Warren's argument. He tweeted back at her, "DNA is also based in science. Yours does not show you are Native American. So either you are an outright liar or you actually don't believe in science. Which is it? #lie you are the." Many on Twitter clearly agreed with Woods, and kept piling it on Goofy Liz. Wrote one user, "How many genders are there, science lady?" Added another, "Funny how you believe in science to protect children against global warming, but you seem to ignore science when it comes to destroying children before they make it out of the womb. Are you glad Woods cut Warren down?" The professor who said Trump and whiteness caused Vegas shooting just got what he deserved, ouch. The leftist professors that have held America's top institutions of higher learning hostage since the 1960s are well known for making truly stupid, baseless statements about cultural issues. This has, of course, increased during Republican President Donald Trump's time in the White House. One professor may have held the distinction of being the most ridiculous of them all, and that's Dr. George Sicario Lamar, who taught at Drexel University in Philadelphia. Thankfully, Professor Sicario Lamar just informed the university that he has resigned from teaching there. George grew to notoriety with his tweet where he, a Caucasian man, said all I want for Christmas is white genocide. Later in the aftermath of the tragic mass killing at the country music festival outside the Mandalay Bay Casino in Las Vegas, the professor claimed that the white supremacist patriarchy was to blame for it. Tweeted Sicario Lamar, "White people and men are told that they are entitled to everything. This is what happens when they don't get what they want." The Drexel professor then said that whiteness was at fault for the church shooting in Texas, stating that whiteness is a structure of privilege and it's a structure of power, and a structure that, when it feels threatened, lashes out. Once again, the professor blamed white people for him resigning. He said, "This is not a decision I take lightly, however, after nearly a year of harassment by right-wing, white supremacist media outlets and internet mobs, after death threats and threats of violence directed against me and my family, my situation has become unsustainable. Staying at Drexel in the eye of this storm has become detrimental to my own writing, speaking, and organizing. Are you glad this unhinged bigot will no longer be teaching college students?" Mike Pence just stunned America with what he sacrificed for Trump. Vice President Mike Pence has weighed in on Charlottesville riots and attack that left-wing woman dead, condemning the white supremacists at the rally, The Hill reports. "We have no tolerance for hate and violence, white supremacists or neo-Nazis or the KKK." President Trump has been hammered all weekend by the mainstream media for not naming those groups specifically when he initially commented on the attacks on Saturday. The president's initial comments were, "We condemn in the strongest possible terms this egregious display of hatred, bigotry and violence on many sides, on many sides." The White House clarified his comments Sunday morning saying, "The president said very strongly in his statement yesterday that he condemns all forms of violence, bigotry and hatred, and of course that includes white supremacists. KKK, neo-Nazi and all extremist groups. He called for national unity and bringing all Americans together. Pence defended the president's comments, saying President Trump had condemned the actions of the dangerous French groups in Charlottesville clearly and unambiguously. Pence also called out the media for its unending criticism of President Trump's initial comments. I take issue with the fact that many in the national media spent more time criticizing the president's words than they did criticizing those that perpetuated the violence to begin with. We should be putting the attention where it belongs, and that is on those extremist groups that need to be pushed out of the public debate entirely and discredited for the hate groups and dangerous French groups that they are. Pence sacrificed his time and dignity to point out the glaringly obvious to the MSM, and that's why he is such a great right-hand man to President Trump. The president has been urging for unity and condemning extremism all weekend, and the press is still in hysterics saying that it is not good enough. Let's get Pence's message out by sharing so everyone gets the message. Yes, the president does condemn extremism, and that includes the KKK, neo-Nazis, and white supremacists. HT The Hill. Drater. As soon as he was asked about Mueller, Senator Flake ripped off his mask and showed the world who he really is. Senator Jeff Flake, ROS, a Republican and outspoken critic of President Trump, has defended Robert Mueller, and even said he would consider getting Congress to hire Mueller as a special prosecutor if President Trump removes him from his current position as special counsel. Mueller has been accused of unfairly stacking his legal team with Democrat donors and sympathizers to conduct the investigation into Russian meddling in the 2016 election. The president has repeatedly called Mueller's investigation a witch hunt, and others have accused Mueller of being too close to former FBI Director James Comey to conduct a fair and unbiased investigation. Flake went on MSNBC on Thursday and said, despite these reservations, if President Trump did remove Mueller from his office, he could be rehired by Congress. I think that if he were to be removed, however it's done by the Assistant Attorney General or a new one, Congress would assert its prerogatives. That would mean hiring a special prosecutor, and that might even be Bob Mueller. Flake has become highly critical of President Trump, recently publishing the book, Conscience of a Conservative, claiming that other Republicans are in denial about the president, saying, "Too often, we observe the unfolding drama along with the rest of the country, passively, all but saying, someone should do something, without seeming to realize that someone is us." And so, that unnerving silence in the face of an erratic executive branch is an abdication, and those in positions of leadership bear particular responsibility. This guy is nuts. We don't need rhinos like him in the Senate. The president and his allies have enough problems as it is. If President Trump wants to get rid of Mueller, he should be able to know that Mueller won't be hired back through a back route. Fortunately, Flake is up for re-election in 2018, and he is one of the senators most in danger of losing in a primary. We have to make sure he does not win his primary. We can help keep him out of the Senate by sharing this 1,000,000 times so every Republican knows who Flake really is. HT The Hill, Louisiana Times.